So Hillary Clinton is considered the frontrunner. People act like she's the only one that can win because the establishment has already chosen her. They've already picked her. And since that's what the establishment wants, then they're going to sit there and be like, huh, Bernie Sanders, yeah, he's got bigger crowds, he's got bigger rallies, he's going to turn out more independents, he's going to get more Republicans to vote for him in the general election. He's got a greater chance of winning in the general election than Shillery or Billary or Hitlery or, Shitlery, right? So Shitlery Clinton doesn't have as good of a chance to win in the general election. The same thing happened in Kentucky. You have the establishment candidate. Everybody backed the establishment. They went for the moderate. They went for the one that they thought was a safe choice. They ran, to the establishment candidate, and he lost. Jack Conway lost to Matt Bevin. He lost to the Tea Party upstart, a rich man who just talked a bunch of Republican platitudes, and he was able to get elected. So for people who, don't listen to the corporate media, we have to bypass the corporate media. This is about Bernie Sanders and the political revolution, so people have to interact with each other. We got to talk to one another, report our own news. And essentially that's what Kate Gunthorpe does. Kate Gunthorpe, I noticed some of the things she's been talking about. She's getting a little bit negative. She's getting, she feels like that the Hillary machine is going to steal the entire thing. And there's a telecaucus that's going on in Iowa. So that's a possibility. There's a possibility that they could somehow pull some shenanigans in Iowa. They could pull some shenanigans at the Democratic convention because our system doesn't make any damn sense. It's very elitist. So you have, if you're familiar with the Electoral College, we have something like the Electoral College for the Democratic primaries and the Republican Party, so, the primaries. So the Electoral College for the Democrats, Electoral College for the Republicans, Electoral College for the general elections, because you dumb motherfucker, you silly, regular working class voters, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And that's really foolish. That's really stupid. That's not democratic. Democracy means rule by the people. Me and you rule, and that all we get is our vote. So if our vote don't even count, then we have no fucking power, which is actually kind of closer to the truth. But the elections is a form of power. They can't control the elections. They can't control how many people goes into the ballot box and actually pulls that lever. So everybody knows that in order they could pull some shenanigans, but if you get all of the people to vote for Bernie, well, he wins hands down. Now, the Kate Gunthorpe was afraid that they're going to steal the convention because of how this stupid thing is set up. You got these people called superdelegates. You just got delegates. That's what I was talking about with this Electoral College for the Democratic primary. You have delegates for the Democratic convention. So you're going to go through the gauntlet, starting on, I don't even know when the first election is, but it's in February. And then you're going to have 57 elections going on after that. So after all of those elections have happened for the primary, then it goes to the Democratic National Convention. And then the Democratic National Convention chooses a candidate there, and the delegates choose the candidate. So even if all 57 states said Bernie Sanders is the one, Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, South Carolina, Super Tuesday, if all of those say Bernie Sanders is the one, we want Bernie Sanders, and it goes to the Democratic National Convention, there are 4,764 delegates. So less than 5,000 people actually have a vote when it comes to the Democratic National Convention. At the Democratic National Convention, that is where it will be decided. At the Democratic National Convention is where the Hillary machine, when they get desperate, will run off with the entire thing and steal it. They will steal it. And so that's if they're going to get desperate. Essentially, they know that they can't steal it right now. So the Billary, Shitlery machine, what the Shitlery machine has to do is try to win as many of these primary elections as possible. and it's going to be close. So I mean, just the way it's been polling right now, Iowa seems to be a statistical tie. New Hampshire, it's solidly Bernie, and then you got New Hampshire, then you got South Carolina, then you have Super Tuesday. And I want to mention something about the numbers because I'm not as not negative, but I'm not as the pessimistic. I'm not as pessimistic as Kate. I think that there's a lot of Sandinistas. I think there's a lot of excitement, but we do need to get organized. We do need to do more talking to one another, phone banking, calling radio shows, getting T-shirts, bumper stickers. Even with Kate, she's like worried about Iowa and New Hampshire, but South Carolina is just like she lives in North Carolina, and from what I can tell, at least from what I remember on the U.S. map, South Carolina is like, it's south, right? South Carolina is south of North Carolina. And so that's drivable distance. She could go knock on doors, She could call radio stations. She could give speeches. She's a very intelligent young woman. And so, and that's like perfect, right? That's like perfect, right? But there's more that we can do. We can't just sit here with our hands in our pockets just being like, oh, shit. The Shitlery machine, the fucking Clinton machine, the Billary machine, they stole it all. They're human, they're fallible, and even if they have all these super delegates, which is a small percentage, and I'll get to the numbers here in a second, but even if they have a lot of 300 super delegates, there's 4,764 total delegates. I mean, there's, 4,764. That's a specific number. That means those people have names and they have addresses. So does the owner class. But these are the people that's going to be choosing the candidate for the Democrat, for the primary, to choose them as their nomination to run in the general election. So 4,764 total delegates. And if you just look at the number, 331 is how many have pledged to Hillary Clinton. Well, 331 of 4,764 is 7%. 7% isn't the majority. It's not locked away. You have you have like some states are binding and non-binding. Binding states means if the primary votes for Bernie Sanders, he gets those delegates. Also, just because these super delegates have said they go on one way, well, who the fuck are these 331 people? These 331 assholes don't even know who the American people want. The American people haven't even weighed in on who they want, over O'Malley, Clinton, and Bernie, and yet they went ahead and said, fuck it, fuck the American people. We're going to go ahead and pledge ourselves to Shitlery. And so why would they do that? That's fucking bullshit. We need to know who these 331 people are. We need to know who these 4,764 people are. And I'm going to crunch the numbers here in a second, but to be continued.